everyone. So instead of the Fremland show, we are now doing the Hernandez show. So today we are going to demonstrate experiment 7. So the purpose of today's experiment is we're going to test the conductivity of different ions in solution. What we want to remember in order for something to conduct electricity is there's two things that we need. The first thing that we need is we need things that are ions. And when we say ions, we mean things that are charged. Okay? The other thing that's required, the second thing, is we need these ions to be able to move. So in this experiment, we're going to actually test to see what things contain ions, but also what things contain ions that are able to move. Okay? So the first part of this experiment is to be able to test our conductivity. We're using a very fancy instrument where you can see there's a battery attached to a light source where we have two probes. So if it's able to conduct electricity, we should see the light turn on. If it does not conduct electricity, then the light should not turn on. Okay? So the first thing we're going to test is using deionized water. Right? So we have a bottle of deionized water, and we've added it to our first well. We place this in here, and as you can see, as expected, there is no conductivity. So what this tells us is when we're using deionized water, there are no ions present in solution. So we're going to use our deionized water to then rinse our electrodes to make sure that we have no contamination. Now the next water source we're going to test is our lake water. Okay? So now we're going to put this into it, and as you can see, the light is turning on. Although it's not super bright, that it is turning on, so that's telling us there has to be ions present in our lake water. So now we're going to rinse our electrodes, dry them off, and now we'll test our next water solution. So now we're going to test ocean water. We place it in, and we can see our light bulb is turning on. And remember what this is telling us is by this light bulb turning on is that ocean water has ions and that these ions are able to move. Okay. Our next water source is bottled water. I'm not sure which brand of bottled water this is, but some bottled water. So if we test it, again, we see the lights turning on. Okay. And now the last water sample that we are going to test is our tap water. So the tap water we got from the tap. Okay? And so when we test our tap water, you can see very faintly, but it is turning on. So that tells us if we use regular tap water, there's ions present. So again, to re-emphasize the idea, this is why we're always using the deionized water to rinse off our electrodes. Okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to test different solids. The first solid that we're going to test is sugar. The next solid we're going to test is sodium nitrate. And then we're going to be testing aluminum nitrate. So first, we're just testing these in solid forms. So first, we want to think about sugar as being a molecule. Both the sodium nitrate and aluminum nitrate, though, are ionic compounds. Okay? So now when we stick our electrode in the solid sugar, we can see there's no light being turned on. Now let's pose the question, why is there no light turning on? Okay. Rinse off, dry it to make sure we're not contaminating our samples. Now we're going to be testing solid sodium nitrate. And again, we see no light being turned on. And I pose the question, why is this light not turning on? And we'll finally do our last one, which is the solid aluminum nitrate. And again, notice no light being turned on. So the question we want to think about is why were these solids not able to conduct electricity? Okay? Now, what we're going to do for the last part of this experiment is we're going to take these solids and we're going to put them in solution. Remember when we say solution, it means we're going to dissolve them in our water. And we're going to be using deionized water to make sure that any results we see are not from the water sample. So first, we're going to add water to the sugar. We'll add it to the sodium nitrate, and we're going to add it to the aluminum nitrate. And so these are making our solutions. Okay? So let's add it to our sugar sample. Notice when sugar is in solution, it's still not conducting electricity. Why would sugar solution not conduct electricity? Okay, now let's do it for the sodium nitrate solution. Notice our sodium nitrate solution is now able to conduct electricity. Okay, and now for the aluminum nitrate. If we look at the aluminum nitrate, you can see that it also is able to conduct electricity by the light bulb turning on. Okay? And then the last one we are going to be testing is our final solution, which is going to be an ethanol solution. Okay? Now that we put it into the ethanol solution, notice again, it's not conducting electricity. So from this experiment, what